Hello, welcome to this video on time signatures and compound time signatures. So some people requested this, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the trickier time signatures. Before we get to that, I just want to explain what a time signature is and what the numbers mean. So we're just going to take a basic time signature, 4/4 of course. So the top number, remember that is the number of beats. And the bottom number represents the type, that's badly written, never mind, type of beat. Okay, so in this example we have 4/4. So the top number is number of beats, so we have 4 beats in the bar, and the bottom number represents the type of beat. Now a 4 on the bottom represents a crotchet or a quarter note. So 4/4 is 4 crotchet beats per bar. So you would get 4 crotchets in a bar of 4/4. Of course you can get, that's not the only rhythm you can get. You can get lots of variations and combinations and things like that, but it'll always add up to 4 crotchet beats. So that's a reminder of what a time signature is. So compound time signatures is an example of one, is 6/8. So this particular example, we have 6 beats in the bar, and the type of beat is an 8th note, which is also a quaver. So this time signature of 6/8, which is a compound time signature, is 6 quaver beats per bar. Okay, so that's what 6/8. We're going to be talking a lot about 6/8. The main ones we're going to concentrate on are 6/8, 9/8, and 12/8. Excuse me. But yeah, so that was just a little reminder of what a time signature actually is. Number of beats is the top number, type of beat is the bottom one. Okay, so let's get started. And I'm just going to talk about the main difference between 4/4 and 6/8. They're the two time signatures we're going to talk about and compare. Okay, which is 4/4 and 6/8, the two that I had on there. So a typical 4/4 rhythm would be something like this. There is a typical, so those are bar lines. I'll make them double bar lines. Okay, so if typical 4/4 rhythm is ta, ti, 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 ta, or if you think of it in the proper names, crotchet, quaver, 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 crotchet. If we add up those number of beats in terms of crotchets, we'll get to 4 crotchets. Okay, so there's 1 beat there, 2 beats there, 3 beats there, 4 beats there. That will equal 4, you will get to 4 crotchets. 6/8 is different. There is a nice easy rhythm in 6/8. And it is simply, I have simply put 6 quavers in there. Okay, so we have 6 quavers in the bar. One of the main things I want you to remember here when we're talking about compound time signatures like 6/8, and the other two are 9/8. Hopefully you can see that, yes you can see that, and 12/8. The main thing, number one thing to take away from this video is when you have compound time signatures like these, quavers are grouped in 3. Okay, you can see that we have in 4/4, the quavers, we have a group of 2, and that's a very common thing, and you have a group of 3 quavers in 6/8. Look, there's probably examples where you could see these rules could probably be broken, but on the whole, and certainly what we do in class here, this is how it will be grouped. You will have 2 quavers like that for 4/4, whereas you will see 3 quavers like that in 6/8 or 9/8 or 12/8. Okay, so that's the number one thing, that's the dead giveaway, because you might come up against a question which is asking, what is the time signature of this rhythm? If you're seeing groups of 3 quavers, it's something 8, 6/8, 9/8, 12/8. And we'll get to some examples in a tick. But that's probably the number one thing to remember, is that groups of three. I think I've said it enough times. Let's move on. So let me show some other examples here of this, of the other. I'm going to get rid of 4, 4. So here we have, we had 6, 8. So 9, 8, of course, we're just going to add another group of 3. So we have 9 quavers. Once again, grouped in 3. So 3 lots of 3. And you guessed it, if we go one further, the next one is 12, 8. We have another group of 3. Just so you're aware, we're just going to talk about 6, 8, 9, 8, and 12, 8. You can get any number 8. You can get 7, 8, 5, 8. There's all sorts of weird time signatures like that, but we're just worrying about 6, 8, 9, 8, and 12, 8. So in 12, 8, once again, they're grouped in 3. There's 12 of them. So that is 12, 8. So what we're going to talk about now is common groups of 3 quavers. Because when you get a question about asking you what time signature is this, it's okay, so you might get a question which says, what is this time signature? Well, so we know first of all it's something 8 because we've got groups of 3 quavers. And it's pretty easy to work out. It's not always going to be, well, it won't be. It won't be always as easy as 12 quavers written out. Like 4, 4 is not always going to be 4 crotchets. Okay? So we're going to talk about the different groups of 3 quavers. Okay, so we've got our 3 quavers. Well, we have our 3 quavers here. And there are many other very common groupings with this. So we have, I'll just write them first. I'm about to be interrupted. Sorry guys. I'm just recording a video. Sorry, it's all good. Sorry, someone just came to the door. So we have that one there, that's another common group. Another one is, and I'll explain more of these in a tick. I'm just going to write them up first. And you can even get that one. There's lots more, but these are some fairly common ones. So we have a crotchet and a quaver. A quaver and that's just swap around, a quaver and a crotchet. We have, these of course all have dots on the end if you want to go that far. How about I go that far? So we have a quaver, 2 semiquavers and a quaver. We have a dotted crotchet and we have a dotted crotchet rest. So all of these rhythms here, each one of them is exactly this, is worth the same number, is worth the same as just simply 3 quavers. So it's good to remember these and be familiar with these when we're trying to work out time signatures. And we'll do some examples of that. Okay, so I just want to repeat that. That's a fairly important. I just want to make sure you get that each of these things, they look very different, each of them, but they are all worth 3 quavers. So you may get something like this, any combination of these in a bar to form either 6, 8, 9, 8 or 12, 8. And I'll give you some examples. So let's say we've got 6, 8. And you might have, let's just have 3 quavers, and then you might have that. Okay, you can see that, yes. Okay, so you can see it's not always just 6 quavers, but we've got our 3 quavers, and we've got this one here, T ticker T, if you want to call it that, T ticker T. We have that one there, which is also equivalent to 3 quavers. It's one of our, it's looking odd, that thing. It's one of our common groups. And what I like to do when I'm trying to work out this, because you might get a question that has this. What is this time signature? What I like to do is to draw a line, a curvy line over each group of 3 quavers. So we know that that's a group of 3 quavers, and we know that that's a group because it's in our list. Okay, we know that that is equal to 3 quavers. And what I'm going to write over here on the edge here is when you have, this is groups, and this is your, I'm going to put TS for time signature. When you have 2 groups like that, that is the equivalent, that's going to be 6/8. If you had 3 groups, and we'll do some examples in a tick, if you had 3 groups, what time signature would it be? It's going to be 9/8. 3 groups of 3 quavers. 4 groups is going to be 12/8. And I'll go through some examples there. This is just an easy way of working out what time signature you're in. Okay, so let's do an example. So we have our question mark, and I'm just going to put some of these in. Let's go with this one. Okay. So if you want to pause the video here, just going to fix that up. See if you can work out what you think this time signature is. Of course, it's going to be either 6/8, 9/8, or 12/8. As I said in the beginning of the video, close to the beginning, whenever you see 3 quavers together, it's a dead giveaway that you're not in 4/4 or 3/4 or 2/4. We're in a compound time signature. So what do you think this is? I'm going to give the answer away. But actually, before I do that, I'm going to work it out. I'm going to look over here at my common groupings in compound time signatures and see if I can identify them. So here, we have one here, and I'm going to put a curvy line over that. We have just the stock standard 3 quavers. We can just put a curvy line over that. Here, we have this one, so we know that that's worth 3 quavers. And the last one is this one. I just haven't put the dots on it. So we ended up with how many groups? We ended up with 4 groups, and we know that 4 groups is equivalent to 12/8. Because 4 times 3, there's 3 quavers in each, equivalent of 3 quavers in each group. 4 times 3 is 12. That's where the 4 to 12/8 happens. You times each of these numbers by 3, you'll get the top number, which is the number of beats. Okay, so that's how I like to work out which compound time signature we're in. Of course, you may get something trickier than this. In the exam, I don't think you will, but in real life, if you're out in the real world reading music or something, it's not always going to end up being, these are just the common ones. There are lots of other combinations and different types of things you can get in here, but I'm just going through the common ones for us. So of course, this goes further and gets harder, but we're not going to cover that at this point in time. Okay, so I'm going to do a few more examples, just so hopefully you can get the idea of it. Okay. Because the other thing I might just mention here is when you get asked a question about, okay, what time signature is this? It's not going to be grouped into, okay, what, in terms of 4/4 and 6/8, they're going to be jumbled in. One might be in 4/4, the next one might be in 6/8, the next one might be 3/4. So you're going to have to determine, the first thing you're going to have to decide is it a 4/4 or 3/4, if that's called a simple time signature, or a compound time signature. And if you're seeing any of these, including this one, including that one, if you're seeing any of these combinations, not always, but it's more than likely going to be a 6/8, 9/8, or 12/8. Okay, and I might even throw a curveball in here when we do our examples, but let's see how we go. So once again, we've got a question mark. What time signature is this? Okay, so I'm going to start with this one, and this one. Now this is a little trickier, but if you want to pause the video here, do it and see if you can work it out, and then because I'm about to go through the answer. Okay, this one is trickier because I didn't put, it is a compound time signature, but it's trickier because I didn't put our most simplest form, which is a 3 quavers together. So it's a little bit trickier, but we do have lots from our list. So we know it's a compound time signature, and we're going to do the groupings. We're going to do the curvy lines over the groupings. So we have one here, which is our dotted crotchet. That's a group of 3 quavers. We have one here, which is our dotted crotchet rest. That's a group of 3 quavers. And then we had our first example, a crotchet and a quaver. That's a group of 3 quavers. So therefore it has to be 3 groups. We're in 9/8. Okay? So that was 9/8. I'll leave that one there. We're going to do another one. Okay, if you want to pause the video here, go for it. What is this time signature? So what do we think? Does anything stand out there? Are we seeing any of our common groups for compound time signatures? No. Yes, there's quavers and crotchets and crotchet rests, but of course we're in a simple time signature because we don't have any groups of 3. We don't have 3 quavers. We don't have any of our common 3 quaver groupings. So we're in a simple time signature. So now we have to count the number of crotchet beats. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3 and 4. We are in 4/4. Okay. And you can see because things are grouped in lots of 2 quavers. So I think I've waffled on for long enough. The video is getting a little long, so hopefully that helps understanding compound time signatures. I might just do a little summary to finish off. So my number 1 point was for identifying a compound time signature, which is your 6/8, 9/8 and 12/8. There are others, but they're the main ones we're going to talk about. To identify those, the dead giveaway is this thing here. Finding a group of 3 quavers. It's not always going to have that there, but it's fairly common. And if it doesn't have a group of 3 quavers, it'll have one of our other common groupings for 3 quavers. So if you see any of these groups, it's more than likely, especially if you have several of those groups, it's more than likely a compound time signature. Not always, because it's not as cut and dry as that. But like here, it's obvious you've got 3 of them there. So that's a compound time signature. We know that we've got 3 groups there. So I might just give you one example where you might see one of these, but it's not common time if you've lasted this long to the end of the video. And I might just do, I'll do 4/4. Actually, let me just do it down here. So you might get a rhythm in 4/4 like this. And you'll notice that it has one of our common groupings for compound time signatures. So that's where it's not always cut and dry. Most of the time, and certainly what we're doing here will be like that, but you will get the odd one. But this is even more confusing because look, you've got that one there, and you've got that one there as well. You've actually got 2 common groupings to start off. I did that by accident. But of course, the giveaway here for me is that at the end here, we don't have a common grouping of 3. So therefore, it's not going to work out. Yes, we have a group there, we have a group there, but we don't have a 3rd group, but we've got notes left over. So something has gone wrong, and what's gone wrong is we're not in compound time. This is actually 4/4. there are the equivalent of 4 crotchet beats in this bar. So it's not always cut and dry. Most of the time for us it will be. So yeah, just keeping an eye out for these common groupings of 3 quavers. Hopefully this helps. Thanks guys.